Hi there. This tapping video is going to be focused on addressing the emotions that the climate emergency, global boiling, you call it what you may be bringing up in those of us that are aware of the situation and are feeling frustrated by the lack of decisive action to turn this ship around. As with any energy healing technique, if you decide to tap along with this video, you're taking responsibility for your own well-being. We're going to first tap and acknowledge the feelings that may be coming up on this, and even as I focus on that, I feel I'm sensing there's a lot of energy around this that it would be helpful to dissipate a bit. So we acknowledge what's there before we move on to make space for shifting it, for feeling more peace and being able to focus on the present moment rather than the disaster that may or may not be ahead. So let's get started. And with tapping, there's specific acupressure points that we're going to be tapping on. These are the ones that I use. You're welcome to use other ones if you're familiar with EFT tapping. But let's get started. Again, you're taking responsibility for your own well-being and tap along with me. We're going to start at the top and just tapping with one hand or the other. It's really up to you what you're comfortable with and what's your preference. So tapping on the crown of the head, we're just going to acknowledge what we're feeling. So many emotions when I see the headlines about all of the wildfires and floods, people's lives being lost, people being affected by this extreme weather. Okay, moving to just tapping on the inside of the eyebrows. So many emotions as I see the headlines these days in my country and around the world. Tapping on the side of the eye. All of this emotion, including anger. Anger that we got to this place. Frustration. Doesn't have to be this way. Tapping underneath the eyes, just kind of on the cheekbone point. And this is a point where it's good to tap on fear. So we're just going to acknowledge that it's scary. Living in the climate emergency is scary. We're just acknowledging it. So many fears coming to the surface. Survival is a basic animal instinct in humans and all living things. And this feels like it's threatening our survival. Tapping underneath the nose. This is a good point to talk about powerlessness. Acknowledging that it's easy to feel powerless. The more headlines I read, the more powerless I feel. Tapping on the chin. Again, just kind of underneath the lip, that little cleft there. This is about shame. How could it have gotten to this point where future generations are threatened by things we do or don't do today? It's overwhelming. And then finding your collarbone point and then the soft spot underneath. We're going to tap there. So many emotions flooding my system. I'm just acknowledging so many emotions in my system. Powerlessness, anger, fear, rage maybe. sadness. Just name what comes up for you. What comes up that you're comfortable to name. And tapping here helps to make it flow through your system so it's not stuck. That's what we don't want. Doing this tapping is not going to take away the emotions that you feel around the climate emergency. It's going to keep them from being frozen in your system, being stuck in your system, and not allowing you to move forward in other ways in your life. And just to enjoy the here and now, because it is true, the present moment is a gift. And as Thomas Homer Dixon said recently, that one of the ways he deals with the climate emergency that we're in is to focus on this moment is good moments, TMIG moments in one's life. What are you doing right now after this video to just have a good day? So what I'm doing is I am tapping underneath my arms, kind of where for women the bra strap is. For men, you're just going to have to guess. All of these emotions in my system around climate change, climate emergency, how we got to this place, the obstruction from the fossil fuel industry, just name everything that you're feeling. Maybe you're angry. I've moved now to tapping underneath the ribs. And maybe you're feeling frustration at family members who aren't willing to acknowledge it or take any action on it. And now we're going to go to the hands, and we're going to go to the side of the hands. All of this frustration, anger, fear. Now we're going to tap through the fingers, tapping on the thumbnail, just acknowledging the emotions that you're feeling, and I want you to name them. Anger, fear, sadness, whichever one comes up for you. And then we're going to tap on the fingernail of the index finger. Now on the middle finger, tapping on the nail that's closest to the thumb, we're just going to reclaim some of our power. So that was in the past what led up to this climate emergency, and this is where we are now. That was then, and this is now. I'm reclaiming my power in this moment. That was then, and this is now. I'm reclaiming my power in this moment. Then we're going to go to the little finger. I like to rest it on the thumb like that and tap on the inside part of the nail. Releasing any feelings of anger and frustration, because that was then and this is now. All right. Now, if you feel like you need to tap more on the anger and frustration, whatever's coming up for you, just pause this video and go through the acupressure points that I just used. And then play this video again, because we're going to jump into making space for more calm and peace. But if you're not, don't feel like you're there, don't rush it. Just pause it. And the thing with tapping is you don't have to really worry about the words that you're using, because if you're just don't even have to say things out loud, but just think about all the emotions that you feel around this issue. Speaking helps to focus the intention, but just say the word or think the words as you're going through these tapping points. Okay, and now we're going to make more space for peace and calm. Wow, there's a lot of emotions in my system around this issue. So many emotions around this issue in my system. All these emotions in my system around this issue. I'm acknowledging them, And I'm taking a breath and I'm making space for peace and calm. That feels good. Tapping under here. I'm acknowledging all my fear and making space, even if it's just a tiny little space, for more peace and calm in my system, in my life, in my day. I'm reclaiming my power in this moment. Nobody can take away my power from me in this moment. I am here and now, and I'm reclaiming my power because there's things that I know how to do, and I'm going to do them. I can take steps to make a difference in my life and the life of those around me. And tapping is one of those actions that I can take. And I'm doing it now. So again, underneath the collarbone point, that soft spot, acknowledging that this isn't an easy time, but I'm open to releasing the intensity of what I feel and moving into more calm and more power for me. Because I know there are things that can be done about this issue, and I know that there's some things that specifically I can do about this issue. And I'm moving into a space where I'm calmer and more centered and grounded, so I can take the action that I need. Just going to use a new spot here between the little finger and the fourth finger. Find that crease and just tap in there. That's a pretty important acupressure point, and we're just going to use it to seal the deal. There are things that I can be grateful for here and now, even in a climate emergency. And I'm acknowledging my gratitude for, and then think about some things you're grateful for. For me, it's my family, the love and support that I get from them. It's the beautiful day outside that allowed me a chance to go for a walk. I'm grateful for my little Frenchie Jemmy. She brings much joy to my life. Okay, and when you're finished with your gratitude, again, pause. You can carry on as long as you want. Take a big breath. And okay, repeat this as often as you like. I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Take care.